Welcome to AssetPro. In this quick explainer, we're going to walk through how the system classifies and tracks all of our company's physical assets. By the time we're done, you'll see the whole picture, from a new item showing up at our door to it getting its own unique code in the system. Let's dive in.
So have you ever wondered how a brand new piece of equipment, let's say an air conditioner, actually gets its official tracking code? How does it go from just being a box on a loading dock to a fully tracked asset in AssetPro? Well, that's exactly the journey we're going to follow.
And why does this matter so much? Honestly, because getting this first step right is the foundation for everything else. It's what lets us manage all of our assets efficiently and, maybe more importantly, consistently.
Okay, so the whole system is built around something we call the 5-level taxonomy. The best way to think about it is like a funnel. We start really broad at the top and get more and more specific as we go down.
Here they are, the 5 levels that every single asset passes through. We start with asset category, then move to type, then subtype, then the make, and finally we nail it down with a specific model number. See? It's just a logical path from general to very, very specific.
Let's make this really concrete with an example. Say we just got a new Daikin air conditioner. For step 1, its asset category is electrical appliances. For step 2, its type is air conditioner. We get more specific for step 3, the subtype, which is split AC. Step 4 is the make, which is Daikin. And finally, step 5 is the model number, FTKF50. Just like that, we've gone from a broad category to an exact item.
So the system has all this great information. What does it actually do with it? Well, it uses it to build something called a standard model. Think of this as the master reusable profile for that specific kind of asset.
To build this profile, the system just grabs 3 of those pieces of info we just defined, the make, the subtype, and the model number. It then combines them to create a really clear, easy-to-read name. And boom, this is the result, a nice, clean name that anyone can understand. Daikin Split AC FTKF50. Now, here's the real magic. This becomes the one single master profile for this item. So if we buy 100 more of these exact same AC units, they all just link back to this one standard model. It keeps our data so much cleaner.
All right, so that's the human-friendly name sorted. Now let's talk about the system side of things, how that unique tracking code gets generated for each individual unit. The key to the whole code is the asset subtype. Every subtype, like our split AC, gets its own unique 3-letter code. This code acts as the prefix for every single asset that belongs to that subtype.
Now, what's really important to know is that you have control here. You can actually set this 3-letter code manually, which is great for keeping things consistent. But if you don't set one, no worries. AssetPro has a smart fallback system and will just generate one for you automatically. And here's how that automatic logic works. It's super simple and predictable. If the subtype is 2 words like split AC, the system grabs the first 2 letters of the first word and the first letter of the second. That gives us SPA. If it's 3 or more words, like a diesel generator, it just takes the first letter of the first 3 words, which gives us DIG. It's a really consistent formula.
So, we have our prefix. To create the final, truly unique asset code, the system simply takes that 3-letter prefix and tacks on a serial number from one big global sequence.
For our split AC, a final code might look something like this, SPA-212. The SPA immediately tells us what kind of asset it is. Now here is the absolutely critical part to remember. That number, 212, comes from a single running list for all assets in the entire company. This is what guarantees that every single item, whether it's a laptop or a forklift, gets a code that is 100% unique.
But before any of this becomes official, before any codes are assigned, there's one last vital step, and that's a human review. You can think of this as a quality control gate.
The reviewer is basically running through a checklist. They're asking, is the classification right? Is the naming consistent? And a really important one, do we already have a standard model for this item? Should we be linking to that, or do we need to create a new one? This is what stops duplicates from cluttering up our system.
And let's be crystal clear about this. Nothing is final until that review is done and an approval is given. No asset is officially created and no code is issued. This step is absolutely mandatory.
And that's it. You now understand the logic from start to finish. So now it's your turn. In the training exercise that's coming up, you'll get to put this into practice. As you make your classification choices, you'll actually see AssetPro generate the standard model and the asset code instantly.
It's the perfect way to see this whole process come to life.